I think one thing that we have to do collectively is we have to let not just the people who are here, but everyone in the country know that this is not over. There are far too many people who think that on the 23rd of June in 2016, people voted to leave the EU, and then on the 24th of June 2016 we were out.
Yep.
And it's finished and it's over. Clearly that's not the case. We have to do everything we can to make sure that we get the people's vote. So what Open Britain launched yesterday, something that the Liberal Democrats have been campaigning for since the 24th of June 2016, a people's vote on the terms of the deal that is struck.
With
we
an
need
option
to make
to
sure,
remain.
Yeah, option to
absolutely,
remain.
option
With
to
an
remain.
option to remain.
We need to make sure, first of all, that that the government legislate for it, because we can't simply click our fingers and it happens. The government have to pass legislation for it to happen. But once they've done that, it's important that we maintain an intense campaign from now until, say, October, when, if the government agreed to there being a people's vote, that is when, in all likelihood, the campaign would have to start. In October. That would be a 10-week campaign, because that's what the referendum in 2016 lasted. That's the length that it lasted. And of course, we've got to win that campaign. So the first step is making sure we have the vote on the deal, or the people's vote. The second and most critical thing is that we actually have to win it. And at the moment, although it's clear that there are a majority of people who favour the idea of a vote on the deal, or a people's vote, what we don't have yet is a sufficiently large majority of people who, if that vote were to take place, would actually vote to stay in the European Union. And that's the role that we've all got to play. So part of it, as I said, is convincing people that that it's not a done deal, that they still have the option of staying in the European Union. And then I think, because to some extent Brexit fatigue is beginning to set in, we have to find ways and means of illustrating the impact of this, whether it's something that's happening at a regional level, so a particular region that's badly affected by Brexit. The announcement from Jaguar Land Rover that they're not going to renew 1,000 contracts, that's a good example for that particular region, but also particular sectors. So whether it's the EU saying to UK airlines, you need to seriously start planning. If we don't get a deal, the ability you have to fly from, say, Paris to Rome, you're not going to have that if we don't get a deal. So illustrating those sorts of stories for particular sectors to make it more relevant to people, because I think the talk about the economic impact, I think that gets lost a bit, because it's big figures, big percentages, people they can't see it immediately. But something they can see immediately is if they or someone close to them works at Jaguar Land Rover and their contract has just not been renewed because of uncertainty about Brexit, or if they work in retail, and we just had, I think the figures said, the worst month in March in terms of retail footfall in the last 8 years again. Yes, it's partly about people shifting their shopping habits, but it's also about uncertainty in the retail sector over Brexit. So we need to make sure that we find ways and means of illustrating this in a very concrete, practical, personal way, so that when we fight that referendum campaign from October onwards, we're actually in a position to win it.